Well, do you recognize from your surroundings that you're in the courtroom of the Dunklin County Courthouse? You always knew I'd end up in court, didn't you? Well, that's not really true. I'm here as a spectator. This is going to be a very interesting day. Supposedly there is a deep, dark secret that is going on here. Flake McHaney, longtime circuit judge, is to have a portrait unveiled here, and it's a secret. At least they hope it's a secret that's being kept from him. Now, whether that's true in these final moments or not, but we've been in this courtroom when Flake McHaney has been sitting in that bench right up there. And we've brought you lots of programs from here. And tonight, this is going to be totally different. We're just going to watch and see what happens.
Thank you very much, Sheriff. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this very special occasion today. We're here for a very special purpose, to in a very small way honor a very special giant in our chosen profession. My pleasure now to present Judge Mike Maurer to make remarks on behalf of the Dunklin County Bar. Judge Maurer, would you come forward? Thank you. If it please the court. Judge Maurer. The Dunklin County Roll of Attorneys book contains 91 entries after Flake L. McHaney signed this roll on August the 23rd, 1948. Most of those 91 attorneys and many more would have stories to tell about either Attorney Flake McHaney or Judge McHaney. Most of those stories would involve this courtroom. I'm not sure the significance of the date, Judge, but starting on the day before Pearl Harbor Day in 1972, Flake L. McHaney became Judge McHaney. And for all that passed through that door, he began his watch over this courtroom. Judge, on behalf of the members of the bar and the citizens of the circuit, I say sincere thanks. It is right that that portrait hang in this courtroom and your watch continue. Ladies and gentlemen, very distinguished retired presiding circuit judge Dorman Steelman, Salem, Missouri.
May it please the court,
Judge Steelman.
Judge McHaney, Mrs. McHaney, Commissioner McHaney, and the young McHaneys and their mother, distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen. As Judge Sharp indicated, I'm from Salem, Missouri, and I was thinking as we drove down here where the judge and I became acquainted. And he'll correct me because as the previous speaker indicated, he's got a steel trap mind, but I think it was in the federal court in Cape Girardeau in the 1960s.
In the restroom.
In the what?
In the restroom.
In the restroom. I told you he had a good memory, all of you know that. But from that time on, we have become close personal friends. Our wives are very close personal friends, and we've enjoyed each other's company. We found that there are any number of subjects on which we have a common interest. But as an aside, I don't know whether I'm fortunate or unfortunate that I never got to appear before Judge McHaney after listening to your remarks. But I'm sure it would have been a great experience, and I did not have that opportunity. We fish together quite a lot. A lot of you in this audience don't know that. The attorneys, I'm told, do know that we fish together quite a lot. We float fish the Current River and the Jacks Fork rivers and fish for smallmouth bass. And this is quite a procedure we have. We keep numbers on how many's caught. Of any size, we measure them, weigh them. Occasionally we'll take a picture, and then we release the fish back into the river, unless you catch a whopper. Guess what? On about the fourth or fifth trip, as I recall, Judge McHaney caught the largest smallmouth that's been caught on all the trips, and we've been fishing together for at least 20 years. He caught the largest fish, still to this day, of this group that fishes, primarily Judge McHaney and I and a couple others. And the reason I'm telling this story is because I grew up in the hill country, and I've fished for smallmouth bass all my life. And I'm a real hillbilly smallmouth fisherman. And for a flatlander to catch the largest bass has been, to say the least, very humiliating and embarrassing. I try all the time, every time we go, to catch one bigger, but so far I haven't done it. Another subject that we have in which we have a common interest, as you all know, or those of you that know the judge, and I assume all of you do, are the sports, especially MU football and basketball. Now, he may not know this, but over these years, we've been fishing together, as I said, I guess about 20 years. But usually sometime on these trips, I'll ask him, how many games will Mizzou win this year, football, or how many will they win in basketball? And to some of you, this may not come as a surprise, but it's uncanny how accurate he's been on his predictions. Now, for example, this year, right after Missouri defeated Illinois, the first game of the season, we were talking on the telephone. Illinois was the Big Ten champ last year, the champion. And I said to Judge Flake, I said, how many games will Mizzou win this year in football? And without any hesitation, he said 5. All right, that's exactly how many games Missouri has won up to this point. They play Kansas State tomorrow at 2:30. One more game. Kansas State is ranked number 10th in the nation. But, Judge, you know, I predicted 7, if you'll recall. We might win tomorrow. Judge, I know that you have been one of the outstanding trial lawyers in probably the state or the Midwest. You You've enjoyed that reputation. And what he said about your knowledge of the rules of evidence was not exaggerated. The judge and I and our wives have gone to any number of judicial conferences together, and it's always appalling how knowledgeable he is on all the subjects that's discussed in those seminars. He's been a great trial lawyer, a great trial judge, and I was thinking as we drove over this morning, I wonder how many hours, days, weeks, months, even years that you have spent in this building and in this courtroom. So it's entirely appropriate, proper, and fitting that that portrait hang on that wall. Thank you all for the invitation.
If I could ask Patrick and Taylor to, I think you'll leave one on one side and one on the other, step around and assist in the unveiling. Beautiful work.
Surprised to hear me say, I'm speechless. They've never heard me say I'm speechless. This was a surprise for me until last night. My wife continued to issue dictates as to what I could do and couldn't do. The first thing, she vetoed me going to the football game, Columbia. Well, then last night I was told I had to put on a suit and tie and be here at 1 o'clock. I said, I never wear a suit and tie, and I'm not going to do it tomorrow either. And she said, yes, you are. So finally, she decided she better tell me what was happening tomorrow. So it was a surprise until last night. I view myself as being a very fortunate individual. I was born and reared in White Oak in a country store. And I learned about human nature in its rawest form there. And then I survived the Depression and was able to go to school, and eventually to law school, before coming back here to practice law. One of the best decisions I ever made was when I decided to come back to Kennett, Missouri to practice law. I'm grateful to the fact that I practiced law in Kennett, Missouri, and I'm grateful to the fact that you permitted me to be the circuit judge of Dunklin and Stoddard County all those years. And I'm most grateful for the fact that as I look about this audience, I see a lot of very close friends. And friends are more important than anything that I may have accomplished during my lifetime. Thank you for being here. I shall always remember this occasion, and I'm very grateful that you took the time to be here today. Thank you very much.